What is up? Just wanted to record this video really quickly just to go over 7 key steps that I personally use to book well over 50 meetings a month, but for the sake of the title, let's just say 50, right? So number 1 is defining your target audience, right? You have no chance of booking meetings with the people that you actually want to help if you haven't defined that right from the start, right? So you need to define not only who is your target client, but who's not your target client, all right? Because again, this is going to help you understand their pain points, their needs, which is literally the foundation for doing everything when it comes to actually booking meetings with these people, right? Trust me, I know it seems tedious, I know it seems boring, you're probably just going to want to go straight to the outreach. You probably think you may already have a foundational understanding of who you want to help, but trust me, it's going to save a huge amount of time if you truly define this persona up front and then market only to them. Not only is this going to give you a huge edge, but it's also going to make sure that you actually understand who you're reaching out to. So you're going to be able to craft way better messaging to these people and get way better results, right? So again, this defining your target audience, gaining an understanding of their needs, their pain points, their desires, whatever, this is going to make outreach so much easier. The next one is then using the knowledge of who exactly you cannot help, who exactly you can help, AKA your ICP, right? Use that knowledge, right, of their pain points, their desires, whatever, and take that knowledge and then use it to craft a compelling outreach message, right? Which is personalized, it grabs attention, right? And it really doesn't matter what it is. It really doesn't matter the medium in which you reach out to your niche. Obviously pick a medium, pick an acquisition channel which is conducive to the people you want to reach out to. So for example, if I was targeting roofers, I wouldn't be sending emails. I'd be doing things like cold calling, SMS, whatever, because they're a lot more likely to respond to those messages. So I'd take the Alex Hormozi value equation into play. I'd make sure the outreach message not only hit on their pain points, their desires, what their dream outcome was, but also talked about the effort and sacrifice on their side, the perceived likelihood of achievement. I'd throw in any social proof if I had it. I'd also talk about the time delay, right? So really keeping those things in mind and knowing what goes into crafting a valuable message. I'd keep it short, I'd keep it to the point. I wouldn't give too much away to maintain that element of curiosity, right? And I'd do this at scale to give me the most chance of booking enough meetings. A lot of the time people say, oh, this outreach message doesn't work. They haven't tested it enough to know if it could work or can't work, right? Because the smaller the data set, the less it's actually going to reflect the temperament of the market when you're sending these messages. So make sure you do it at enough volume, right? The next one is using multiple different channels, right? It's a lot easier to do more volume when you're using multiple different channels, right? I'm a strong advocate, especially initially, to just master one channel and get used to it. But in a lot of cases, like the nuances of how you use one platform, right, it doesn't really change much, right? It's still the same message, it's still the same ICP in a lot of cases. So it just helps you to put more messages in front of your target audience, do more volume, and again, just help you book a hell of a lot more meetings, which is ultimately what we're here for, right? The next thing is implement a follow-up strategy. And I'm not talking about follow-up specifically to people who haven't booked in a meeting with you. I'm not talking about follow-up specifically to people who haven't responded to you. I'm also talking about follow-ups to convert positive responses into booked meetings, right? Because these are extremely important. We want to limit the amount of follow-ups that we do on people that haven't actually seen that first message, right? So that's the only case where we really don't want to be following up too many times. Other than that, if they've seen the message, they haven't responded, we want to limit it to anywhere from 1 to 4, depending on the niche and depending on the timing in between each follow-up, right? So that's pretty crucial. In terms of people that have actually responded positively but haven't booked in, honestly, we want to be following up on these people as much as possible. And when it comes to this, the speed to lead is extremely important, right? Because timing is a big thing. Like people get distracted, right? They have their brain set on one certain thing. They get distracted. Maybe booking a call with you doesn't become so much of a priority anymore because you left it so long, right? So the timing that you take to actually respond to the people that respond positively is hugely important in making sure that your booking rate is really high. Like your PRR, positive response rate to booking rate, is in KPI, right? The next thing is leveraging networking. Why do you think that one of the biggest ways of getting new customers for basically every business owner that you speak to is referrals and networking, right? Especially in the B2B sector, right? It's because it still works, right? It's 2024, this is always gonna work. People referring businesses to each other, people networking, people speaking to each other at events, whatever it may be, contacts. Like this stuff works. I'm speaking to multiple, probably hundreds of business owners at 7 figures and above, just because of what my niche was, who are doing everything to get clients, which is just networking, right? Networking is their sole way of getting clients, networking and referrals, right? So it's almost like a balance between the new age marketing agencies, which are like, okay, everything outbound, we don't need to do networking or anything like that. And then you've got the old age, which is referrals and networking. If you can tie these two together and not polarize yourself to one or the other, right, and make them work in tandem, you're going to get great results, right? So not only use outbound, but also leverage your networking, because at any given time, you can probably find a few people that you have some point of connection to, right? Or maybe it's an event you can go to that are going to enable you to sign a new client, or just to even get an opportunity to pitch someone, even in the early stages. Let's say let's say you're offering Facebook ads to home improvement companies, just as a random example. You probably in your immediate network, if like through your family, through some friends, know someone that runs a home improvement company. So just take a second to actually think about that, right? And don't just polarize yourself to the fact that you have to reach everyone cold, right? So think about that, think about events you can go to, think about ways you can make that happen. The next step is offer value, right? So again, this is kind of linking in inbound to outbound, right? So in an age where everyone is just ramming outbound and everyone looks the exact same, right? And everyone kind of has a similar offer, because it's getting harder and harder to truly differentiate an offer when ultimately all you're doing is maybe running Facebook ads or doing cold email, right? Prospects can see that. So one of the best ways to really differentiate yourself is to offer value like this, like I'm doing now, right? I'm making a YouTube video, make YouTube videos like this, make content, right? Get on a platform where you know you can get in front of your target market and then just say valuable stuff, right? Have their problem in mind, know what they're struggling with, and then make content and offer value around the problem that they're dealing with, right? Because if you can alleviate the pain of some of their micro problems, they're going to trust you to solve a macro problem, aka they're going to buy into your service, they're going to buy into your product, whatever you're offering. So it's a great way to, outside of the sales calls and outside of the sales environment, to actually demonstrate competence. And they're going to be a lot more inclined to schedule a meeting with you if they can see that not only are you a real human and you're likable, but you actually have a high probability of solving that problem. Because everyone's making these claims, everyone's saying they can do these certain things, but where the sale really is in the belief from the prospect that you can actually do what you're saying you can do, right? And the more value you provide with things like this, with mediums of giving out value, giving out expertise, the more likely they're going to believe that you can actually deliver and the outcome is. The next thing, and the final thing, step 7, I hope this was 7, I think it was, is tracking and analyzing results, right? You're never going to be able to improve on any of your ways of getting new clients if you don't keep track of your metrics and analyze the results. So every decision that you should be making when it comes to booking meetings, especially when it comes to outbound and things like that, should be driven by data, right? Because it's not like inbound, it's not like making content like this, where I don't really have a true understanding of what I say makes people book the meeting. With outbound, every single thing that you tweak will directly affect the data, because you have direct control over everything. You know exactly what messages you're sending to get that first initial interest. You know exactly what follow-ups you're doing. You know exactly how you're calling the leads. You know exactly how you're making the sales, whatever. So you have control over that whole process. So you have to be able to track it to get the best results possible, right? So again, like, if you're not tracking, you don't know what's going well, you don't know what's going right, and you can't adjust accordingly because, right, you have no idea what's truly going on. So that's 7 things. If you want more information about what we do specifically, there's a booking link in the description. You can book it in a call. And that's everything for the video. If you've got any more ideas, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.